everybody, and welcome back to another college football video. Today we had the national championship if it was in a 7-game format like most sports. So how this will work is we are going to have the first 2 games at Indiana because they're the top seed. Then we will go to Miami for 2 games. Indiana will host the 5th if necessary. Miami will host the 6th if necessary. And finally, Indiana will host a game 7 if that is to happen. Alright, so Indiana is going to start off here about the 15. Going to try to get an early drive set up. We are in the Hoosiers' house, and they have Mendoza carrying them for the playoffs right now in real life. So let's see if it's going to work against Miami. They were able to stop them, though. Miami's going to take over for the second quarter. These are only on 1-minute quarters, though, so teams got to be very, very aware of the clock management. And Miami is slowly driving down the field here, but they don't have a lot of time, and they're just going to kick the field goal, and they're going to go up 3-0 in this game in Indiana. Trying to find space, going to get it. It's going to be a first down here in the third quarter, trying to slowly kill clock. The best thing to do in these type of games is just get a win that way. Kill the clock, get a score. That's all you got to do. So Miami will take game 1 in Indiana. But let's see if Indiana can protect their house for game 2. Miami will start with ball, though. Trying to get out. Will be sacked by this Indiana D-line. Not able to get much here. Gonna for a little check down for not a lot of yards. Wasted the full first quarter there. They're gonna slowly get across half field. Trying to get some points on the board. Sees him down the field. That's a Miami touchdown to start. And Indiana's not coming up to a good start in this video, as they were down 7-0 in game 2, already down 1-0 in the series. But to start the second half, Indiana finally gets their shot at the drive. They're going to get the first down there. They needed that on 3rd and 1. Now moving into a little bit later. That's the best thing about this game is the day and night settings changing mid-game. And they're going to get across half field, and they have a shot themselves. Trying to find it down the field. They're going to sling it inside the 10, possibly the 5. And with only 1 seconds expire, it's an Indiana touchdown. Now, do they go for 1 or 2? They go for 2. Indiana is going to get the 2-point conversion and win and tie it 1-1 at their house. Not a bad look for Miami, though. You think about that first game, that's just a win. A second game, they barely lost, and kind of not their faults. So let's see if they can do it at their place. We are now in Hard Rock Stadium, where Miami plays and prevails. Trying to look. Mendoza gives a little dish off, gonna get the first down. Indiana started off way better in this game, surprisingly, in Miami. And it's gonna be an Indiana touchdown, just barely reaching for it. And with only 12 seconds left, I don't think Miami's really going to get anything done here. Drops back, finds the man, but that's just going to take us to the second half. They're going to go for the kick, though, nowhere near. So Indiana will be up 7. They're going to start with the ball here, Miami. Trying to find something. 4th and 7. They're going to send it. They're going to come down with it. And there's only 20 seconds left in this game. They've taken so long in the second half trying to get anything settled. And taking all the time in the world. They're going to send it. And they're within the 10. Miami here with a shot to try to tie this game. And they're going to get the touchdown. What a comeback right there. But they're going to kick the extra point, unlike Indiana in the second game. And we have a 7-7 tie going into overtime. So how overtime is going to work, both teams get a shot at it from the 30, and right off the bat, I am not kidding, this was the very first play. Miami scores a touchdown, which means Indiana needs to match it or beat it, as they're going to get within the 10 themselves. Setting up at the 10 now, trying to find a man. He's open for the touchdown. Both teams will score, and we're headed to second overtime. Now Indiana, right back inside the 10, they trust their offense enough to just keep going right at it, but they're going to get stopped right here. Will that stop them? No. Indiana's in for the touchdown, and now it is Miami's turn. Well, Indiana will get the 2.2. So Miami needs a touchdown and 2 point. They're going to get stopped. Push back 2nd and 17. 3rd and 17 now. Can't find anything. All the way back to 4th and 23. They have to send it. Can they? No, they're not going to get far enough. And that's an Indiana 22-14 win in Hard Rock, which means it is now a Indiana 2-1 lead as they've won the last two. Miami's been so close, though. Do not count them out. We have the red versus the black unis. Indiana start this game off with a pretty big run off the start. And you got to think, if Indiana is able to win this game here, a 3-1 lead is almost impossible to come back from, as long as you are not the Cavaliers. And Indiana will be in for the touchdown. Great start to this game. And you got to be a little worried if you're rooting for Miami here. As we set up in the second half, Miami just not able to get anything going. Now on 2nd and 6, they're going to find the first down, and they're to half field. They need a touchdown here. They cannot take anything less. Setting up now. Looking downfield. In game 4, they're going to bring it in for the touchdown. A lot of clutch late Miami touchdowns as we're going into overtime again. Miami to start. Looking. Tries to shake the man. We're inside the 10. Sits up now. Hands off to the running back and is in for a touchdown. Carson Beck has been playing great. Indiana slings it. Picked by Miami. As Miami's going to win this game. A pick in overtime is almost an automatic win. And that is what they do here. Moving into game 5. Back at Indiana. Series tied 2-2. You can ask for anything better. Miami starts this game off with not a lot off the bat here. They're going to be looking. They're going to find the man. They're about to the 40. And now across half field. They're going to try to sling it deep. And finds him. And they are now about to be setting up in the red zone. They do. And they find him for the touchdown. Great start for Miami in this game. And they're going to try to pinch him on defense. And they're going to set them up for a punt. But with only a minute left, you got to think they'll just be able to knee it out here. And that is going to be, I think, exactly what they try to do here. I think they have to get one big running play off. But other than that, I think they'd be able to pretty much just kill all the clock and set up for a game 6 back at Miami. And that is what they do. Indiana never even really had a shot. If you end up punting in these minute games, you pretty much lose. In game 6 now, Miami can win it at home. And that's what they're going to try to do here. Setting up for a long run. A great start to this game. Almost all the way to the house. As they're going to set up at about the 27. But they get stopped on 4th down. And only get a field goal. So not what Miami was wanting. Indiana setting up with not a lot of time left in the half. They're going to push for a first down. And it's a fumble. Miami the other way. They're able to set up for another kick. And another field goal. You would be pretty upset as an Indiana fan, but I do not think it's the end of the world, as these minute quarters make it so that Indiana could just get a touchdown and an extra point and send this thing to game 7. Stepping back though, it's only 4th and 13. They're going to find the man for the first down. That was pretty much make it or break it. 1st and 10 now, only 24 seconds left. Drops back, looking for the man. We'll find him. Is that going to be a first down? No. 2nd and 1. 16 seconds left. He is sacked, and Mendoza looks hurt as he was not able to get up as the clock ran out, and is an 8-0 win, and Miami is your national champions in a 7-game scenario. As always, thank you for watching, and have a good day.